Is actually our last speaker of the afternoon. Duke-Cox currently serves as the chair of the Energy Committee of Western Colorado Congress of Mesa County. He is a past president of the Grand Valley Citizens Alliance and former interim director of the Western Colorado Congress. A 20-year member of the Nature Conservancy, Duke lives in Grand Junction with his wife Peggy and operates a successful construction firm. He's an avid hiker, reader, and musician. Duke has called Western Colorado home for nearly 40 years and is passionate about the defense of its environment and its people. Please welcome our final speaker of the afternoon, Duke-Cox.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I certainly admire your tenacity and your willingness to sit through an afternoon of what was some incredible presentations, and I want to thank everybody here who came from out of town to join us. And the amount of information that was presented was just remarkable. Let's give them a hand, all the other presenters. It's just fantastic. While you're clapping, how about Robin Smith and the folks from the Community for Healthy? I mean, this is just the Citizen for Healthy community. What a great thing to put this on. Many of you know, some of you don't. There are a lot of friendly faces, and there's some friends in the audience, and many of you know that I lived in Garfield County for a number of years. I do not live there any further. My wife and I moved away when our family doctor sent out a notice to all of his patients that he was moving his wife and his daughter away from Rifle because it was no longer a healthy place to live. So we took that as good advice from a doctor we admired, and we left, and we now live in Grand Junction. The success of the GVCA, which many of you are aware, was basically built on two or three fundamental principles. We were successful, along with many other people in a coalition, of instituting the oil and gas rules in Colorado that are now considered by many to be a standard of the industry, and other states emulate the rules that Colorado has created. But that victory was essentially predicated on three tips that I want to give you as a community. First of all, your decision-making processes must be fast. What we found in working with GVCA was that we were working with a bunch of nonprofit organizations, and in an effort to be good Americans, we had a democratic process for decision-making in all of those organizations, and it was time-consuming and cumbersome, and I assure you that the oil and gas industry does not make sure that everybody gets a vote before they make a decision. So you find yourself constantly behind the eight ball if your decision-making process is not fast. So you must, as a community, designate your decision makers, imbue in them, give them the authority to make those decisions and to act quickly when those things are needed. Because there are times when the entire battle can be lost in a moment because you were not ready, because you did not make the decision quickly enough. So we did that. Our organizations imbued their leaders with the ability to make quick decisions without going back to the organization and getting approval. And I know a lot of you may object to that, but believe me, you're fighting the oil and gas industry here. You know, you're not fighting the League of Women Voters. This is a whole different thing. The other tip is to avoid turf wars. One of the things that I see in communities over and over again is that when they're faced with an enemy like the oil and gas industry and they're facing this situation, everybody wants to do something. There are more than one organization in town, and everybody wants to do it, and there are leaders, and all of these leaders have different agendas, and they have different groups. And what I found in other communities is that when you try to fit everybody under the same bus, and you've had 4 or 5 bus drivers, all the bus drivers want to drive, so you don't try to get everybody on the same bus. That will inevitably cause problems. There will be turf wars, there will be hurt feelings and that sort of thing. Nobody wants to give up their authority. They don't want to give up what they're doing because they want to feel empowered and they want to participate and they want to do that. So it's important to recognize that you have to avoid those conflicts by just making sure that you all stay on your bus, but head them all in the same direction. You all have the same goal. You all have the same thing that you want to do. So avoid turf wars, avoid stepping on each other's feelings, and understand that it's more important that you all head in the same direction instead of all of you fitting onto the same bus. It's not necessary, and it just causes problems. The other thing is that you have to make your message, which is the point of this discussion, you have to make your message bigger than you. much bigger than you. And to me, that was really the key in the successes that we had with the Grand Valley Citizens Alliance, was that we never stopped talking to anyone. We talked to everyone. We went to Denver relentlessly, to the Capitol. We took everybody we could take, and we never gave up, and we kept going, and we kept talking. And finally, we made so much noise that the people of Colorado recognized that this was a serious situation, and they elected a House of Representatives and a Senate full of Democrats, and they elected a Democratic governor, and those people made the difference. This is democracy in action. It worked. We won. We beat them, and you can too. I know you can. One of the ways that you will fail is if you rely on tried and true old methods for getting your message across. One of the things we ran into in Garfield County was 3 county commissioners, or rather 2 county commissioners, who were completely sold out to the oil and gas industry. Now, your county commissioners, I know it's a surprise, huh? Your county commissioners are your messengers, and they are the ones who are supposed to take your message to the state. They are supposed to take your message to the people that counts, but ours were not. And so we discovered that the most important thing is that your message gets out there. And it doesn't matter how it gets out there. So what we did was convene the group of mayors, the mayors in our county. And those mayors had our concerns at heart. They were not getting millions of dollars in revenues from the oil and gas industry. They were paying the price. The little towns are the ones who suffer most of the impacts. They're the ones who take it on the chin. And so those people understood what was going on. So our mayors group got together and started making policy statements and started carrying our message to the people that needed to hear our message. And the ones who need to hear your message are the people who can make a difference. That's what you need to discover. That's who you need to talk to. And you need to carry this message relentlessly. I want to tell you very briefly what victory feels like. It's a great feeling. I am privileged and proud to tell you that of all the things that I have ever done in my life, to sit next to Harris Sherman in the Senate hearing building and watch the Senate Energy Committee pass House Bill 1341, which enabled the rules, unanimously, and to watch the power shift from the oil and gas industry and all those lawyers and all those Armani suits to the people of Colorado who are fighting for their homes. There is no way for me to describe to you the impact that had on my life. And if I start to pull a John Boehner on you, please forgive me. But this is a very emotional subject for me. I'm going to be a little briefer than perhaps I might, but I just want to tell you this. When we were in Garfield County, even though we managed to succeed in many of the things that we tried to do, I can tell you now that Rifle, Parachute, Rulison, those are gas communities. It's a gas town. It's a done deal. Calvin can tell you. John can tell you. Once your town becomes a gas town, it is a gas town and you're not getting it back. Sorry. So if I could do one thing over that we did in Garfield County, we stuck with a weak message. And our message was, we support responsible energy development. And I wish, in my heart of hearts, that we had used instead the message that I want you to use, that I want to tell you. I want to give you a message. I want to give you a slogan. They say messages should be bumper sticker slogan simple, so that people can get the understanding. They can understand it right away. And I really wish that we had sent this message, and I think you should do it. And this is the message I want you to send to the people who may think about bidding on these leases, and to the oil and gas attorneys, and to oil and gas executives, and to the politicians who may support the oil and gas industry. And this is that message. Not here, not now, not ever. Not here, not now, not ever. If you don't stand up with blood in your eye, with passion in your voice, and look at your neighbors and you say, look, folks, we're all in this together, you're going to sink. But you don't have to, because you can stand together, you can unify your community, and if you unify your community, if you can all stand with one voice, shoulder to shoulder, and tell this industry, not now, not here, not ever, you can win. I promise you, you can do this. I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to look around this room at your neighbors. When it comes time for you to dig into your pockets and give money to the people who represent you, dig deep, dig till it hurts, stand up, fight, and never, ever, ever give up. Thank you very much.